Last week, I updated you guys on the new 26 Crosstrek pricing, including the pricing on the hybrid, which starts at a pretty insanely high $35,000. You can get a CR-V hybrid currently in the market for under that price. You can get a RAV4 hybrid, a Tucson, a Kia Sportage hybrid, etc. for under that price, and they're all bigger vehicles. So the pricing has been tough for Subaru lately, in my opinion. All right, and now today, they just announced pricing on the Impreza, their entry-level model, except they killed the base trim on it. So it's got a big price jump. If you guys like car news just about every single day, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more. I just got back from California. I have new reveals that I can't talk about until a much later date. And then I also have I also drove the Palisade this week, and I'll be able to share those impressions, those driving impressions soon on the new Palisade. Speaking of which, before we get into the Impreza, the Ascent continues on for 2026, starts at $40,000. Guys, don't buy an Ascent. Don't get the CVT in it. It's probably one of the least competitive vehicles in the three-row crossover segment. Just go get a Pathfinder, save several thousands of dollars, and you have a V6 and you have a 9-speed auto, and it looks a little bit better. Big fan of the Pathfinder. If you're looking for an affordable three-row crossover, not sponsored by Nissan, I'm just saying do yourself a favor. It's a better vehicle. All right, back to the Impreza, the 5-door hatchback. Yes, they don't have the sedan anymore. The only way you can get a sedan in the Impreza would be by a WRX, I guess. And the Impreza RS trim now has a different tune, 2.5-liter boxer. It used to have 182 horsepower. Now it only has 180 horsepower. The torque is the same at 178 pound-feet. They do say it has a better torque response. It's hard to say without driving it. All right, you just kind of have to take Subaru's word for it. The standard screen is 11.6-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly. And like I said, they killed off this base model. And the base model, I want to make sure to see if the base model's interior had the the smaller screen in it, because the smaller screen is typically easier to work with. Yes, it did. It had a double screen, but this is way easier to work with, in my opinion, than everything essentially being into that single 11-inch touchscreen. Look, you have all these additional buttons here. This is a better setup, in my opinion. Not quite as glitzy or as glam, but more usable. Now this is gone because the base trim is completely gone. So what do you get? Well, now it's just the sport grade, which costs $2,200 more than last year's base grade. So your price of entry to get into a Subaru just went up by about almost 10%, if you want to think of it that way. To get your feet wet in an entry Subaru now just went up about 10%. You might be saying, Kirk, it's because of tariffs. Maybe that's why they killed the sport model, and this is a way of them eating the 15% tariffs on Japanese imports. The Impreza is built in Japan. Okay, it's not built in Indiana like the Crosstrek, like the Forester now is, like the Outback, like the Ascent, for example. You know, and the Sport has the non-2.5 as a 2-liter boxer, which is very anemic, 152 horsepower, 145 pound-feet of torque. All their powertrains besides their hybrids, because those have an eCVT, it's not really CVT at all. The BRZ does not have a CVT, and the Solterra, which is an electric car, right? But all their other cars that have a boxer, they're all CVTs, and that is just not that great of experience. All right, watch my review on the Outback. Not the new one, but the outgoing model. The Outback Turbo, the throttle was all over the place due to emissions regs, and it just was not a good driving experience. Unfortunately, you just have to smash your foot into the gas continuously. Anyways, it seems to be a trend. It's not just Subaru doing it, but it's just the way it is right now. So they have said that for 2026 that emergency lane keep assist is included with models with blind spot detection. That means blind spot detection is not standard. You're going to have to pay an additional, essentially $2,000 for it, because it comes packaged with a moonroof and vanity mirrors, illuminated vanity. The Corolla that just got announced for 2026, they're like, okay, prices only went up $300-400, but you get blind spot monitor standard now and a few other features standard. All right, as well as like new screens in there. Here's the Subaru that's saying, okay, we killed our entry level model, and we also took 2 horsepower away from the top model, which is supposed to be the Sporty RS. And yeah, blind spot monitor, you're going to have to fork over more money for. And the top model, you still have to pay $2,000 to get the Harman Kardon sound system. However, the top model also comes with standard blind spot detection. Essentially, if you were to add this package, blind spot, to the sport model, you're where the Impreza RS is with a bigger engine, which comes standard with blind spot. It's very frustrating for that to be. That essentially Subaru's doing everything they can to push you into the RS model, which costs $30,000. Now, there aren't that many Imprezas in my area. The base, yeah, $24,000. I'm not seeing any. Well, here's a small price drop, $25,000 off of last year's base model. And those came with steel wheels, for example, instead of the alloys on the sport model. Yeah, $25K for an Impreza. Now, that's not bad, but that's last year's model, and unfortunately, that's not around anymore. So for $25K, a Corolla hybrid and get way better fuel economy, and it guarantee it's going to be more reliable. And you can get the Corolla hybrid and all-wheel drive as well. So the Impreza is a tough sell. I know it's a hatchback. It has better usability than something like a Corolla sedan hybrid, but I'm just saying, like, this is not moving the needle for me. All right. And well, last time I drove one, it actually looks good in the RS trim. It's just too expensive and way too slow, and it doesn't have that great of fuel economy. Yeah, I think sales on the Impreza are just going to keep going down. If we go back to Q2 sales for Subaru, the Impreza down 16% on the month of June. And it was slightly up on the year, but that's not the direction you want to be going in. So they might be actually reducing shipments of the Impreza because of tariffs. This Q2 was all with the 25% import tariff. Now they're down to 15%. So I think that the killing of the base trim was factored into them eating tariffs a bit. So anyways, this is kind of sad that the Impreza has just dwindled so much. So the Legacy was just killed off. The Impreza, I feel like, is the next model to be on the chopping block. And look, the WRX is down 75% in the month of June. And down 31% on the year. So it's really sad. Really, really sad what's happening with Subaru. They're just focusing on where the sales are. The sales for them are in crossovers, hopped up crossovers with a little bit of lift on them, all-wheel drive. And, I'm glad that they finally have hybrids. I just don't think that they're going to be successful in selling them at the high asking price that they're being offered at. Time will tell. I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Subaru updates here on the channel, and have a great day. Peace.